Okay guys, good afternoon. So here we are again on this Sunday afternoon to test a different thing. This is a very old Franken Bixler 3 that belongs to my dear colleague Zeke. And he kindly asked me if I could fix it for him because he hasn't flown it in many years now. And the plane was in a pretty bad shape. I mean, still is. But it needed some dashboard repairs, like missing servos, missing leads, some glues that had to be put together and all that. So I've been working on it yesterday evening, and I got it to a point that it's flyable now. I've also added functional flaps. It was missing one of the servos and some leads, but yeah, it's all assembled now and working properly. Everything moves on the right direction at least. As you see, it has many war scars here done by my friend Zeke. A lot of glue, a lot of crazy hinges, but hey, it works. Also missing a piece of fuselage here that was probably eaten by the propeller at some point. But yeah, it's looking okay for a plane of this age and going through what it has been going through. Many crashes over the years while Zeke was learning to fly. And yeah, he was missing it, and he asked me to put it to fly again. So here we are today for the Maiden. Unfortunately, this good friend of yours, that will be me, filmed the Maiden and all the adjustments it needed, only to find out that I didn't film anything because I forgot to hit the record button once it was airborne. So yeah, this will be the second flight actually after the repairs. Just to recap, once I launched it, it wanted to go to the right side like crazy. I mean, a lot. So as you see, this is here the correction it needed on the trim. As you see, this aileron, the right aileron going up, so it needs a lot of left correction, and that aileron there. I mean, this one going down and the left one going up. So it needs this much of trim correction. So this tells me that there is something out of geometry, probably a bent wing, or I'm suspecting one of the flaps, because by eye at least this one, the right one, seems to be twisted. So it's making something weird with the wing. So at least now it's flying, and we should have some footage to show my friend, his Bixler, airworthy again. So let's get it. At least now I'm sure this is recording something. So let's throw the cell phone here on my redneck cap mount and make another flight. So we can then send this video to my colleague and make him happy. Okay, Zach. Second flight. Radio is connected. Let me just get a sip of water. It's kind of hot today. Wind is around 8 miles an hour. Northeast, it's usual. Skies are a bit overcast, quite warm, maybe some 27 degrees by now. But yeah, Bixler is ready to go. One of the motor bearings seems to be shot. It's making some crazy noises. I mean, especially when you let go, when you give it gas, and then when it returns to idle, let's say, on the lower RPMs, you can hear it scream like crazy. Let me show you here quickly. Makes a lot of grinding noises, but it has worked. First flight, it doesn't get too hot, so it's working. Good bearing or bad bearing, it works. Let me try not to get here because I could cut my hand. So better to stay out of the prop area. Okay, CG looks good. I have added 40 grams of lead to the nose weight, because this model is tail heavy. Even if I'm using a 2200 3S 40C pack all the way up front, it still needed 40 grams nose weight, and it seems to be pretty fine. I'm getting there slowly, but it looks good. Okay, it's trimmed, at least it was during the first flight. So let's get it. Let's put it in the air again. Just checking the wing direction, that way, more or less. And let's go. There he goes. At least it's flying straight. A lot of correction on the ailerons, but it flies. We'll sort that out later. It creates, of course, additional drag, so it flies a little bit slower. Maybe it's better for him. But yeah, there he goes. Nice and straight. Looking good. Super steady, even though if it's kind of windy today. But you can surely feel it's a very, very easy to fly and stable model. Perfect for my colleague to get back on his flight. So here a slow pass. Look at this. It's a gentle bird. Because yeah, my colleague Zeka has this one, the Bixler, that he started with, but he also has a Durafly Tundra, like mine, the green one. And of course the Tundra is much more advanced, quicker, and more nervous on the controls. So this is a good one for him to start again and recall all the flight, and then he can safely pass on to the Tundra. Even if the Tundra has a gyro, 3-axis gyro, still of course much more complicated than this one. So good platform here. Flies great. Can't ask for more. From a model this beaten up. Flies great, as you see. Look at this. It doesn't have any braking on the ESC. I'm not sure how to do it on this one. I should find out. Because you go to idle and the motor doesn't stop rotating. So not good, creates a lot of drag. So it needs ESC braking to maximize the glide. I've also added the flaps, as I mentioned, and as this radio equipment, it's not mine of course, it's from Zeka. I'm not familiar with the functioning of all the functions it has, because this is an OpenTX system, and that's basically Chinese for me. Look at that. First position flaps. It will need, as I was saying, a little bit of flap compensation, elevator compensation for the flaps, because of course once you go a little bit faster and go to your first and second flaps position, you need a tiny bit of down elevator compensation, and I'm not sure how that is done on this system, so we will have to test that on a later stage. But this thing just stops me there. I'm gonna cut the power now, go for first position flaps, give it a little bit of down elevator. Look at this. It's like a kite. It doesn't stall. It doesn't drop a wing or spirals down, or no, it just slows down, but with straight wings until it hits the ground. That's pretty much it. Super docile. Okay, let's try a few maneuvers. turn it here. Give it gas. Will roll. It rolls. Slowly, but it rolls. It needed, for sure, some differential on the ailerons. That's another thing, because aileron channel is only one of the channels with a Y harness, and it doesn't allow you to do the differential. You can do it mechanically, but nothing like having two separate channels. Now let's go for a loop. Even loops. Hard turns, easy. Look at that. You can play with it. What was this? I think it's the motor timer. Or maybe it's going to explode. As I was saying, this is an open TX. But yeah, I have 15 seconds. This was set to 10 minutes. So first flight and then this final flight. Yeah, that's the timer. First position flaps. Nose down, nose down, nose down, nose down, nose down. Look at that. Looks like a bee hopping from flower to flower. It's great. Flies great. So, yep. Tested and approved. So yeah, Mr. Zeka, you have here a nice, solid little machine to get on track again. So yeah, guys, that's it. I hope you all have enjoyed this Bixler 3 Rebirth, and especially you, Zeka. Já tens aqui um modelo fixe para começares outra vez. Okay, guys. See you on the next flight. Cheers!